Amid a flurry of political ads on television, the internet, and in mailboxes across the US, the right piece of political art has the power to cut through the noise and profoundly impact a candidate's campaign. Artist and activist Shepard Fairey knows this well and is careful about the subjects he chooses. One of his more famous pieces, titled Hope, became a symbol for Barack Obama's 2008 presidential campaign. But looking back, Fairey says he feels Obama didn't live up to the promises he made to the American people. Fast forward 16 years and inspiration has struck again. Fairey's newest piece, called Forward, features Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris, who he says offers the best chance at fighting threats to democracy. Artist Shepard Fairey joins me now from Los Angeles. A pleasure to have you with us.
Thanks for having me, Rosemary.
Absolutely. So we all, of course, remember your iconic Hope poster of Barack Obama back in 2008 during his campaign. And now, all these years later, you have created this new artwork featuring Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris, titled Forward. Why did you feel the need to create this similar styled poster 16 years later, and why that title?
Well, I felt that Kamala Harris was asked to be vice president for very significant reasons. She has a strong record of service, and yet for much of her time as vice president, until Roe versus Wade was overturned, she wasn't in the spotlight. And once Joe Biden passed the torch to her, it's really an important time to emphasize her qualification, her vision, her warmth, her character. So I wanted to make an image that just brought that to the forefront, because I think that is an important conversation starter for why Kamala Harris should be our next president.
And as well as creating this incredible artwork, you also endorsed Harris. Why is it so important to you that the Harris-Walz team wins this election? And what expectations do you have for a Harris administration if she does win?
Well, this gets to your question about the title Forward. I think all we can do is look at how we can more positively shape the future. And we've all experienced one Trump term, which in my opinion was an absolute disaster for middle and working class people who want to see a better future for them, for their children, for the environment, for many issues a lot of Americans care about. The Harris-Walz campaign is looking forward and for how the American dream will be achievable for the people who normally Trump would overlook. Trump is making all his overtures to people who are wealthy and powerful, and he's selling snake oil to some people who I believe are willing to suspend disbelief. But Harris and Walz they're going to bring down the cost of medication. They're going to hold corporations accountable. They're going to level the playing field, protect women's reproductive rights. These are all things that I think most Americans want and that are very important to ideas of freedom, equality, and access to opportunity.
And despite calling Donald Trump dangerous during the 2016 election campaign, you didn't create artwork for his opponent, Hillary Clinton, or for Joe Biden, for that matter, in 2020. Why is that?
Well, I think that both Clinton and Biden were and are very established politicians who have a history. There's not as much of a need to reintroduce them to the public to get the public to take them seriously. I think that Kamala Harris, for all of her credentials, all of her experience, is someone that actually needs to be put forward as very legitimate in every aspect of her character and her qualification for president. And I think that sometimes an image that presents someone in a way that's appealing can make people think about what that means, why they're presented that way. And so it's the start of a conversation. I consider the poster to be something that maybe reframes how someone is perceived, and then hopefully the voters look into why they're being presented that way.
And what did you mean back in 2016 when you said Trump was dangerous? And what are your thoughts about him now, all these years later? How big a threat do you think he poses?
Well, my idea of him being dangerous in 2016 feels quaint compared to how I feel now. He's shown that he has no respect for the law, for democracy, for, all the institutions that keep the country running as smoothly as possible. He's said that he would replace a lot of the infrastructure, the people within government infrastructure, if they're not loyal to him. And what we want is nonpartisan people who are the most qualified to do their jobs well. Much of government shouldn't have anything to do with partisanship. So Trump wants to be an autocrat. He wants to be a dictator. He wants loyalists. This is the way, Pol Pot, Stalin, Hitler, all of these people wanted things to run. Trump is incredibly dangerous.
Shepard Fairey, appreciate you being with us. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.